In his interim report, Mr. Hayne made a lot of commentary about the culture in the financial services industry, and he was particularly critical of the conduct of many of the banks and other wealth management companies, and really how that was a product of poor culture within the financial services industry. I expect he's going to recommend that the existing provisions in the law around acting efficiently, honestly and fairly, acting in the best interests of clients and not misleading and deceiving clients are going to be given a lot more bite, and he's going to encourage the regulators to take action, I think, where those obligations have been breached by financial services entities. It's clear that the community expects financial services entities to be more aligned with their own interests. And so I think we're going to see more principles-based legislation if Mr. Hayne does recommend any changes to the law. And that is likely to lead to financial services entities taking a bit more of a broader moral approach to the way they provide their services and not relying so much on the protection of black letter law. Quite clearly, under the stewardship of James Shipton, the new Commissioner, ASIC is going to take a more proactive approach in terms of litigation. It remains to be seen whether that's going to be an effective approach, because litigation is costly, the outcomes are often uncertain, and ASIC bears the burden of proving its case in court, and it has a bit of a checkered history in terms of the claims that it has brought against bigger institutions in court thus far. So whilst it's pretty clear that that seems to be ASIC's changed approach to regulating financial services institutions, I have my doubts as to whether it is going to be effective in the long term, particularly given the resources that ASIC has at its disposal. I would not be surprised if he recommends that we adopt a model such as in the UK, where there's a very clear distinction between sales of financial products and advice on financial products. Many organisations are already looking at their governance models to make sure that the board and executive are appropriately informed about what's happening in sales teams and advice teams, so they are not caught unawares as to what's happening in some of their teams, as appears to have been the case in the Royal Commission. So I think we're going to see better and clearer reporting from various business lines up to the board, so the board can make informed decisions about issues to do with risk, compliance, governance, and so on. So whilst there's a lot of work going on currently in relation to existing arrangements, I think there's going to be a bigger piece of work that will occur after the industry is able to digest what Mr. Hayne says in the final report.